Well, the kids are all right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan, and welcome to your post-match presser of Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. Yes, the Premier League champions take the points at Stamford Bridge. We were fearing the worst before kickoff. We have been in dismal form, and Graham Potter went with an attacking 4-2-3-1 lineup. This is one of those rare, if not isolated occasions where I actually feel better after a loss than I did before kickoff. And also, Arsenal don't pull ahead. Look, man, this wasn't like, a must-win for anything for us. This was a tricky test, and Graham Potter goes with a different shape. We've got a horrendous injury list now, especially after losing the two wingers early doors in this game, and we saw the youth come on. We saw Chukwuemeka, we saw Hall, we saw Amari Hutchinson, and we saw Gallagher, who is, still a young player. And listen to this, listen to our current injury list. Edouard Mendy, Reece James, Ben Chilwell, the first choice fullbacks, Wesley Fofana, who should be a first choice centre-back, and Golo Kante, who's when fit, which is never, a first-choice midfielder. Mason Mount, a first-choice midfielder. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who was being utilised all the time before he got injured, as in different positions. Armando Broja, looking like our best conventional number 9. And then Raheem Sterling, and then Christian Pulisic. All injured. That is a profoundly large list of injured players. But we're going to talk about the tactics, the lineup, and everything today. So thank you for joining me, and a quick opportunity for you to drop a like on the video. Support your local content creator by simply clicking like, and you're welcome to subscribe as well. Look, man, and we get the microphones up because this is important. The kids are all right, and Potter will turn to the youth. And that's important. We've been frustrated. He keeps bringing on Aubameyang. I kind of get it. Keep him happy. But when it counts, I know he didn't have anything else, but he has played Hall. But get the microphones away. He has played Hall a lot. He started against Man City in the Cup, I believe. He looks mustard, mate. Do you know what I mean? These are good players. We played well in this game. The great Mason Mount versus Jorginho Stans war had to be cast aside because Mason Mount got injured yesterday in training, and Jorginho, I think, just dropped, was he? Yeah, he wasn't utilised, Jorginho. I suppose when you're chasing a lead, you don't bring on Jorginho, do you? And so, look, we had a 4-2-3-1. It went like this: Aretha Balaga in goal, and as you'd expect for a back four, what else can we do at the moment? Cucurella left back, Azpilicueta right back, and Koulibaly and Silva. I mean, you could argue Trev Chalobah to come in, but those guys did all right, generally. We will talk about performances in a moment. We had the double pivot of Kovacic and Zakaria, and then starting with Ziyech on the right, Sterling in the 10, Pulisic on the left, and Havertz up top. Early doors, Sterling got injured literally in a couple of minutes in. He'd done his hamstring. So we saw Aubameyang, which saw Havertz sort of dropping a little bit, and we sort of played a 4-2-2-2. Not that I thought, Sterling was going to be particularly impactful. He has done all right recently, but it wasn't like, oh no, we're losing our star player. Bringing Aubameyang on stung, though. I mean, we all wanted to see Amari Hutchinson come on, and it was this sub happened in the 5th minute, so just after the 4th minute, and we all wanted to see Amari Hutchinson, which we did actually see, have his good amount of minutes for his debut. Maybe it was a bit much to ask for him to come on in the 5th minute, so I kind of get it. And Aubameyang wasn't awful. He did press a little bit, he did run around and do some stuff, he wasn't, sometimes he's so dismal and awful, but he did work hard. He's not the answer though, Aubameyang. And of course, we lost Pulisic after he nearly scores a goal in the 22nd minute. He looks good, Christian Pulisic. He has had some great performances against Manchester City, Christian Pulisic. I seem to remember him in Project Restart scoring an excellent goal for Frank Lampard's Chelsea. And the 22nd minute, we've been forced into 2 changes already. And in the first half, we were the better side at Stamford Bridge. Granted, Pep Guardiola played a weird formation. He played a 3-2-4-1. Very narrow. So he essentially played no like fullbacks. He played like Cancelo really high up. It was a really weird formation essentially. But in the second half, he reverted to type, brought on different players to go back to that same shape they've been winning with in the Premier League and playing really well. And indeed, of course, he made the changes to bring on Mahrez and Grealish as replacement wingers who combined for the goal. And that was in the 63rd minute. Jack Grealish assisting Mahrez with a great pass from Grealish, but the questions to be asked on both Kepa and Cucurella for that goal, which was a shame because Kepa's been good recently and Cucurella was very good in the first half. Chelsea, though, don't lie down and take it. Graham Potter, who had set up Chelsea very well for this game, he just had. I mean, it works better than that weird formation in the first half, which, by the way, he would not have called Pep to go ahead with. But it was a really good performance in that first half. Indeed, the second half, it started poorly. They get the goal, but we come back into it. We bring on the kids. We take off Aubameyang and Cucurella. We bring on Omari Hutchinson in the front line and bring on Lewis Hall to play left back. And Lewis Hall looked infinitely better than Cucurella. Granted, Cucurella was quite good in the first half, the opening stages, but so much better. And Ziyech, who did look okay, Conor Gallagher came on, and he did what Conor Gallagher does in the 69th minute, which was a one-man press. So because we were forced into those two first half changes at different, intervals, after the half-time one, you only have one opportunity to make a substitution. So that's why I think Graham Potter did all three at once: Gallagher, Lewis Hall, and Omari Hutchinson. And Gallagher was like the one-man press, running all over the gaff, just pressing everyone, and that's exactly what we needed at that part of the game. Of course, we have a few chances. Pep brings on Calvin Phillips, another defensive player, just tries to see out, and ultimately they get the 1-0 win. They had more possession, slightly 52%, which is fine against Manchester City. Stats are pretty similar. They sort of beat us in the air, but we've obviously made much more tackles than they did. We're much more interceptive. We worked really hard. We just don't score goals, man. And that is going to be a personnel thing. And not just a personnel thing in terms of new personnel, but in terms of chemistry. Like, stop chopping and changing. Give Omari Hutchinson and Chukwuemeka a chance. Like, Chukwuemeka, who came on in the 22nd minute as a front free player, who's a central midfielder, really, sort of like plays between the lines, is quite offensive. Kind of a Conor Gallagher, I suppose. But he played in the front three and he was very, very good. He was excellent. I'll go as far to say. And the double pivot, man. Like, I'm not a Jorginho hater. You watch my content, you'll know. I think Jorginho is very good. He's a very good specialist. But Kovacic and Zakaria is a mobile midfield who can run around, press, progress the ball. And Zakaria playing under pressure, he was looking like Kovacic playing out of the press. Very, very good indeed. And Azpilicueta was fine. The centre-backs were fine. Thiago Silva was the better of the two, as you'd expect from him and Koulibaly, despite being 38, which is really mental. What else can you say? Kepa made a couple of saves, probably should have done better on the goal, but it's fine. Cucurella was better in the first half, and that's unsurprising. In the second half, he got hooked for Lewis Hall, who was excellent. Came on, looked very, very threatening. Jamie Carragher was waxing lyrical, in the Scouse language over commentary on Sky Sports. Very, very good indeed. The good midfield pivot. We just need good players, man. Do you know what I mean? Get good fullbacks. Play that kind of midfield pivot. Ziyech was pretty good, fine. He's not played much, so it's difficult. Havertz is very good. He didn't get a chance to score, but he's not. And Havertz is never gonna just score Haaland amounts of goals. He's not going to. He wants to play deeper. He likes to link play. He likes to play a little bit more intricately. He'd be a really good, incidentally, Pep Guardiola striker. When he plays like on the false nine system. Pulisic looked good before he came off injured. Like I said, Sterling didn't really get a chance. But the youngsters, man. So Hutchison didn't get a chance to shine too much, but we know what he can do. Lewis Hall, Chukwuemeka, and just Gallagher absolutely getting up inside him. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely just pressing the hell out of everyone. And John Stones just getting inside his soul from pressing him. That's what you want to see. You want to see effort. You want to see high-octane play. And we took a massive step in the right direction, I think, in that today. This is where we're at, man. We're like still 10th in the table, I think, unless we get overtaken soon. But it's a write-off in many ways, but what we want to see with this new ownership, with these youngsters we're bringing through, whether it's academy players, whether it's players we're nicking from Arsenal, whether it's players we're buying from, Aston Villa, these youngsters, and indeed players that we know are very good, like Kovacic and, whatever, all these players. This is what we need. And I'd also go as far to say as this formation, a 4-2-3-1, Don't play a regista in the pivot like a Jorginho. Play two ball carriers and two interceptors with physical presence like Kovacic and Denis Zakaria. Give the kids a go, man. Give Lewis Hall a go. Give Amari Hutchinson a go. Chukwuemeka did look great, I believe they all deserve a crack. I think Chelsea played well in this game, just not well enough to beat Man City at the moment, and that's fine. It's going to take time. We are at the beginning of a transfer window. They'll look at this and go, right, this worked. What can we add to this to make this better? And like I said at the top of the video, this is one of those rare instances where I feel better after a loss, which is friggin' peculiar. But anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Chelsea news back tomorrow. Of course, we're keeping a very close eye on the transfer window, so make sure you do turn on the bell notifications icon when you subscribe, dear sweet friends. I look forward to seeing you, mate, very soon. Peace.